and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you, getting into my sinking funds and savings tracker closeout. So right now, I see a lot of transactions. So we're going to go through all these transactions. I normally don't have this much. I've been moving money around and I've been taking care of something that kind of popped up that I wasn't expecting. And we're just going to roll with it and decisions that we made. So go ahead and sit down, get your favorite drink, and let's go through the transactions. Okay, we are starting with the sinking funds closeout. So the month of July was very busy. My husband and I were going through all the sinking funds and making decisions and consolidating a couple of them. So we had to move one money from one category to another. It didn't move around in the bank. It just moved around on paper. And that's fine. It's good to make these decisions and decide what is necessary and what isn't necessary in sinking funds. Our sinking funds are us taking something that we're going to owe in the future because a bill is going to come, dividing it by 12 from the date it's due, and that gives us our small number denomination for the monthly for that category. I total all those numbers up and I come up with one big number and just move it into my money market account so it can get a few pennies or a few dollars in order to have some extra interest and a little money working for us. And then when the bill comes due, it gets usually charged to our credit card. It may get charged to our checking account, depending on what type of how I set up the original bill paying system, whatever it was that they accepted. So some of them would take credit cards, some of them wouldn't, or I just used something different. I don't know. Anyway, regardless of how I have it set up, I know how much I put in these every month, a little bit at a time, come up with one big number, and then the first of the month, move the money in there. And if anything comes due that month, which I do keep on a calendar, the back or in the front of this, I gotta find it. Da-da-da. There we go. So I use this and a track. There's at least one thing every month. And then other things happen because most of these are either annual expenses or they are quarterly expenses. And then some of these are annual because Christmas happens every year, the birthdays happen every year, things like that. I don't actually list that on here, the birthdays or holidays and stuff like that. I might. That sounds like actually a pretty good idea to keep it more reminded, but when I actually spend, I got to go back and put June's here. No, I did put June's. So I got to put July's spending in here. Everything's in the sinking funds section, so I can go back and put more notes in this section and just have a snapshot of the entire year of what was actually spent each month. I think that would be a good idea, so I don't have to see all the transactions, just what was spent for setup for next year, and I don't miss any bills. And this is how you prevent from missing any bills in the future, is setting up a sinking fund where you sink the money until the day it's due, and then you pull it out and pay for what you need. And that's how I do it. My trash is quarterly and my Orkin is quarterly, and then a lot of these others are just annual subscriptions or annual things that happen every year. So our trash was due this month. It's the only thing I thought we were going to have happen. Well, I was clearly wrong about that. Other things did come up. So what I'm going to do is, since nothing else happened outside these, I'm going to draw a line. That just means 0. And there you go. It's neater than having 0 written, all those different times. And I have several line items here. When I first started, I probably only took up a half page. And then I started put the annuals in here. And I'm like, okay, it kept getting bigger. And then different things we wanted kept growing and all the things. So yeah, that's what happened there. We're going to go through and I'm going to total all the endings, which will be my new beginnings for the month of, what was this? August. So this is July closeout. These endings will be August beginnings. And I will be setting that up in August. And you'll see when I do my setup, I'll have these numbers already in, but I will go over the deposits with you and what I know is going to come out that month. So that's what we're going to have there next month. So I did put a line item for a 0 out check monthly. I don't think I want to do that. So I'm just going to kind of cross this out. I don't know if I put it for next month or not. I may have already written and set it up, but we just don't have enough left over to even transfer. And even if it's $5, $10, I know it would make sense to do it. but it keeps our bank account from going to zero and have negative charges and stuff like that. So I just want to keep that buffer in the checking account. Its job is not to make money. Its job is to sit there and cover as we do our spending. So move this over, see if I can get this without light interference. And let's do this. So I have $113.32 plus $12 is what I put in there every month. And that gives me $125.32. And that is my Amazon Prime. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to angle this just a little bit because I can't write straight up and down. And it's on the coil, so that doesn't help matters any. All right. So that is what I have for Amazon Prime. That comes out in September. So we're getting close, and we pay taxes on our Amazon Prime total. So if it's $139 plus tax for Kentucky, that's what they charge. $41.66 is what I have for Google storage. My husband chose this storage for a particular reason, so we're going with it. So that bumps that up to $49.99. And that's $8.33 per month that we put in there. I think it's $99.99 a year, and it's cheaper to do a year than and have it happen once a year than paying a little every month than having another bill with a small amount every month on my bill calendar. I like this better. So there we go. Apple subscription. This is my MacBook Air that I have. I have Apple subscription for the Microsoft Excel, Word, all the different all 5 programs, and then I pay $69.99 a year, I think. So that is $34.98 plus the $5.83. This is due either the very end of December or the 1st of January. So that's the time frame. So I'll make sure I always have all of it in December. Let's see here. Okay, here's something. I got these 2 stars here. I merged this home fund, what was left in it, up here. We did spend out of it. So let me show you what we spent. We originally had $368.80 left in this home fund. The difference, these two numbers, 195. All right, we spent $173.13 on something, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I think we went and bought stuff, and for the house. This is home fund is for projects, and it was house projects and stuff like that. It was put on the credit card. This was the total, so I took it out of here, paid the credit card this amount, and that zeroed that out on the credit card. So we still had $195.63 out of this left over. So I just took the home fund, zeroed it out here, and then moved what was left in here up here, home maintenance, and got rid of the home fund altogether. Home maintenance, $600 I added, is what I've had for a long time. And then I added $195.67. And the reason I did this is because we had a shed removed off our property and our neighbor wanted it. So we did pay for the demolition part of it, which was $650, and that's where the money came from. It just needed to, we weren't using it, and it wasn't secure, and we didn't like how it was built. So we had it removed off the property. It just didn't feel safe. So it was important to us to take it down, and we did. And that left $145.67 in home maintenance. I need to build this up because I really do need to have someone come out. I'll do this probably in August. Come out and fix one of those pipes that's in the basement that leaks if we turn the water on. Don't understand that concept, but that's what we have. Orkin spray. So we have Orkin. It comes out quarterly. We put $47 a month away. I have $95 in there so far. $47. They are coming out in August. This is more than what we need, but $142. I think it's less than $140 when we do it, but that's what we have available now. CK landfill, we paid $25.07 to finish off the bill. That was $85.07, and we have nothing left in that, which is fine. August will be the first month we put $30 in, and that will start the new cycle again. So 2 months we do $30, and then the third month when the bill comes in, we can see what the total is and then make the adjustment either high or low depending on gas consumption average that they charge their clients. So that always fluctuates our bill. Propane, I'm putting, my goal I think is like $240. So it's $20 a month all the way up to October, November timeframe. We have them fill up the propane, which is going to be a little higher this year because I used more than the previous year. So I have 140, which is easy math, plus the 20. It's 160. That won't happen for a while, and that's okay. Kentucky County taxes and tags going forward. This is just tags and registration. I think that's what I'm just going to call it because that's what it is. The reason I've been writing it out like that, I'm just reminding myself I'm paying Kentucky County and Kentucky, the state, and the county that I live in the state, taxes and the tags for the registration. So yeah, that was the reason I was putting there, and I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm just going to put taxes and registration, I think. So $28.78 plus another $20. And basically what I do is whatever, and I just paid them in July. So whatever July's taxes and tags are for our vehicles, I take that number divided by 12, and that gives me a balance I need every month. And I either round up or round down. I think it was $19 and some change, so I rounded up to 20 to make it easier for transfers. $48.78, and then this $28.78 was what was left in the account from the previous year, so I just kind of left it there, and that works for me. All right, car maintenance. I was driving from Kentucky to North Carolina in the middle of all this to visit but to help my parents with the move and with my sister and my brother-in-law and all that stuff. I went and took my car in and had an oil change, which always cost over $100. I have a Nissan Armada, which has 7 quarts of 7 quarts of oil that it takes. So they're replenishing 7 quarts. And then I have my transmission flushed, which needed it because it was low. And that's not good when you're traveling in the hot summer. So always have your vehicles checked out maintenance wise, and then some other things that differentials and stuff I can have done, but I can wait on those. And this is based on mileage and all the history of car maintenance. So it was $259.36, and I went over by $59.36, but just because I went over a little bit does not mean I couldn't pay for it. Obviously, I have mingled a lot of cash in here with other accounts, so I'm just going to keep adding to car maintenance until it's positive again. And I did that down here with activities fund. So it's just one of those things where sometimes you're borrowing from yourself in order to pay for something, but you got to be careful not to overdo that. So I made sure it was for the right reason. Car maintenance, always the right reason. Cars are very important. I want to keep my car. It's 11 years old, but it runs great pretty much, though I think I have to take it in a body shop, but it doesn't have a lot of value. It's a 2013. I looked at Kelley Blue Book. It's like $4,000 or $5,000 if I went to sell it. Maybe $6,000 if I did a personal sale. I don't know. So yeah, I want to maintain it for as long as possible. I do not want to buy a new vehicle and have a car payment. I know I'll have one in the future, but I really don't want that. Okay, Xander identity theft, that's $96 I have in there. I had $12 a month for that. I think it's $145 a year. I usually borrow $1 from somewhere else in here and pay that. So I have $108. It's easy. $27.02 plus $533. That is $32.35. That's Norton Utilities. That my husband uses on his laptop. I have a Mac, so I don't use that. I use something else with my Mac. So yeah. Tax purpose, having somebody help us pay our taxes or figure out our taxes. Yeah, that's what it is. So and we got $80. I think I paid $240 last year or this past tax season. So and I have 2 states involved, not just for Kentucky, Virginia. We still had a mess up, and there were Virginia taxes taken out. So hopefully next year the guys can straighten it out, and then we can move on. I'm not even going to use a calculator here. Christmas and birthday, $397. Not 300. You add $100, which make it $400. Oh, I thought it was easy math. I just wrote the wrong number down. So $497.93. We're good with that. Cell phone tech. Oh, I bought a hard drive, a terabyte hard drive to back up my laptop with, because the terabyte hard drive I had other stuff on there. Yeah, I don't want to do backups on that one anymore, so I have a new one. And so that I use, because it's technology, I use $68.89, something I bought on Amazon, and then that is what is left there. So I thought that was pretty good that I had that available. Let's see, $50 minus the $91.18. My calculator doesn't have a negative in front of it, so I have to do it this way. I have a negative of $41.18. This is almost paid off. So since, oops, wrong pen. Since this is $50 every month, next month, let's see, $41.18. Next, oh, geez. See, the coil is not helping my handwriting at all. And there we go. Okay. If I add $50 for next sinking funds in August, I'll have $8.82. I'll be back. I've already paid off everything that I've already spent. So I'll be back in positive numbers, which I'm happy about. And this should be back in positive numbers in September. So that's good. Okay, next I have Canva. I do $10 a month. I have 20, so it's $30. That comes out in April of every year. Epidemic Sound comes out the last day of October, or second to last day in October, so 96 plus 12. I've already done that, but here I go again. 108. That's some music to my intros and stuff like that. And I enjoy listening to the artists that are on there if I want to listen to something new or different. Car fund, this is just money we had deposited thing with the Jeep. We still haven't taken it in, but it's not hypercritical yet. And we're going to have to take it to a Jeep dealer because the service center we went to really couldn't, they weren't comfortable doing what we originally were going to do. And so they said, go have the Jeep dealer check it out and make sure we're right on what we're thinking, what needs to be done. So we were like, okay, I like that. $500 for the Roth IRA. So I've already contributed $7,000. I get to contribute, I think, $8,000 for the year. I'm waiting to get back. I'm waiting for my birthday to happen, and this is actually $100 a month till December. So either the end of this year or the first of next year, because I can contribute to 2024 Roth, maxing that out in by April of 2025. So it gives you first few months of the year to catch up your Roth for your 2024. So we're going to decide whether we're going to do that or something else. And I don't know which, and I don't know what next year looks like. So that's $500. I'm just going to keep saving it in the money market account. And then once I get to where I know I'm comfortable and my financial advisor's account comfortable, then we'll make a decision at the end of the year. Dividends, we had $6.95. Normally it's in the 30-40 range, but I moved $37,000 out of this money market account, and I moved all my sinking funds into this one, because if you remember before, I was only getting like 40 cents a month. Now this is more than 40 cents a month, which is nice, but it's not the 35 I had before. But I'll show you what my money market had, or not my money, my high yield savings has this time with the $37,000 I moved out of this account. So I had $266.43. Those were just since January in the money market account, and then at $6.95, and then $273.38. So that is what I have in there. I didn't do anything with this last line, so ignore that. Now I always write my deposit, because when I come up with the totals, this includes dividends that's already put into the account. I need to know the amount of money I'm putting in the account. So if I totaled all that up, it would be the $547.56, which is what the deposit was at the first of the month. And it covers everything in here. I know you don't understand. I'm stuttering here. I'm sorry. The feeling you get knowing those pop-up quarterly annual expenses that you don't think about until they hit your account or the letter comes in the mail. Just having the relief to know the money's there. You've already moved the money and saved it up. There's no stress. You can set it and forget it, and then when it pops up, you're like, oh yeah, I saved up for it. So boom. And it does not impact the budget and the checking account and watch all that money disappear that you probably had earmarked for something else. it's already taken care of. So I love sinking funds. I love do the annual or quarterly or whatever the pop-up expense is, birthdays and stuff like that. I love doing it this way. It is a big chunk of change that comes out of my account, but I have specific goals and specific things I want to pay for. August is going to look a little different. A home fund won't be here. I can't remember if I took anything else out, but that's going to change. After September, NutriSense won't be in here. That is my glucose monitoring. I put one of those sensors on my arm. And so, yeah, that's not going to be in here. And after September, and then that's it. That's all I can think. The zero out's going to go away because I just don't think it's worth moving the money over. So let's total the numbers, and then we'll get to the savings tracker. Okay, so technically $750.18 happened here, in the sense that I moved money from one line item to another. So it wasn't physically adding $750.18, but it was adding to a specific account or line item in the sinking funds. So on paper it looks like a lot, but it's not. This number here, I think if I take 695 minus the 195.67 that was already sitting in the account, 547.56. So that's how I know this is the right number. I don't add the dividends because that's the bank giving me money, and then I just took from this home fund here, I subtracted here and added it here. So it wasn't me adding a deposit, it was just me moving around stuff, and this is how it stayed accountable. So that's where that is. Go through the withdrawals: 650 plus the 8507 plus the 259.36 plus 68.89 and 368.80 and then 265. There we go. All right, so we're saying we spent $1,697.12. Again, the $195.67 in this portion actually wasn't spent, but that's okay. Everything else actually was spent. So I think that number would be what? $195.67? $1,500. So there you go. That was what we actually took money out for, and that makes sense to me. So now we get to do this total of all the sinking funds. Whew. So let's go ahead and total this number up. All right, so my total here is very close. I think I'm close. Hold on. I might have missed a number, something like that, but I'm going to write down $3,758, which is correct, and I have 64 cents. My notes say 61 cents. Let me look at my bank account, because this here is a representation of one savings account. It's a money market account. That's why I have dividends in it. And I want to see, oh, I can't do it on my phone though. So my money market account, and I got my laptop here. You can't see my screen, but you can see me typing. I'm going to go to my bank account, and I have to do it on my laptop because it's, unfortunately, when we set up the money market account, we did not tell our bank that it was a joint money market account. But I have access with my husband's password and stuff like that to the account because he never does any of this, and he just gave me the password and said, go take care of everything. So money market account savings is $3,758.61. So I'm going to put 61 cents and say it's a typo, or me punching in the wrong number by 3 cents off, and my notes say that, so I don't really care anymore. So I have everything I need. Anyways, I'll go back to the nitty gritty and make sure I have these balances right and see if I pressed the wrong key or if I'm 3 pennies off somewhere over here. But if not, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I will put the accurate number for the month of August, and I know it's $37.58.61, and that works for me. So now we go to our savings tracker, which is our high yield savings in our Edward Jones account. I'm getting into my Edward Jones account, and I want to log in and see what the dividends are, because this is a brand new account and it's a joint account. Let me see, make sure there's no numbers. I don't know if I can show you, just because it has little information, but it shows you what I put in. So I put in $37,000, nothing withdrawn. We don't want to withdraw unless there's a hyper emergency. Return in money was $115.14, which is pretty good for not even a full month. I don't even think it was a full month. Rate of return 0.31, because it wasn't a full month. I think the interest rate is 5.33%. That's what we went over last time. And yeah, and it's tied with holdings in a mutual fund. So that is the investment that comes back in mutual funds. And we thought having our full emergency fund in there would be an excellent way of doing that. So yeah. Now that I know what the investment dividends were, $115.14, I can just add that here, and it just basically I can kind of just draw lines here because nothing happened. Deposit, withdrawal, no withdrawal here. This is not an account where a lot of money is going to be moving around and things like that. But the only thing I'm really focused on is the dividends, and if we have a major emergency, then we will talk about what to do there. So $29,052.00 is the Edward Jones Emergency Fund. Now I have $37,000 in this plus this $115.14. That $37,000 was what we had in our money market account, and I moved it over. But these are the categories I had in my money market account, and this is just how I look at this $37,000. I divide it up, even though it's all in one place. I divide it up and I earmark certain amount to go to certain things. We have our vacation fund in there, which is $4,000, and then we have our home fund, which is any future home projects that we might have to do. Might have to have new insulation put into the attic space above us, and we want to find insulation that we can use that will keep rodents out of the attic space. We did have a little experience the other night where I heard something crawling in the walls in the interior of the home, so that tells me some activity's been up there. I don't like that, but nothing's got it in the house. We did have new siding put on, so if there was anything in there before, they were gone. With all the banging and stuff like that, getting all the siding on the house. But now that there's nothing going on with the house, I think some kind of critter got up in there, because I can hear little scratch marks. And I can hear them fall in between the walls. It was just weird. It was like 11:30 at night. It was not fun, but that's okay. So $115.14. And if you total these numbers up, it should be that plus 37,000. So 29,052 plus 4,000 plus $3,948 plus 115.14. Okay, so yeah, just bring that number down. $37,115.14. I'm excited to see what the end of August looks like and all of that, and move forward from there. So that is my sinking funds and savings tracker closeout. A lot of things happening this month. So glad we had the money put aside. It really saved us, and that we have something growing a little bit higher over here. I've never had a deposit of dividends over $100 before, so just having this over here and getting that extra money made me feel better where I have my money. Especially with a high yield savings of 5.33%. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.